So, with that being said, really wrestling. This, as a wrestling fan, this usually sucks because whenever there's a release session, I don't know about you. It's hard to watch SmackDown, and it's just maybe just me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not that it's hard to watch.
yeah,
It's
because
just
it was a good show, and in
it's
honesty, it was a good show. It wasn't like it was bad. It's just
it's
I don't know.
it's,
It made me not want to really dive in like I normally would.
it's to me when the 3 hour thing, I think it's a huge part of that.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully by the summer, maybe before SummerSlam, maybe
Hmm.
it'll knock itself back down to two because 'cause like I said, I understand why it's three because it's USA, you have a deal with them, it's cable, and I get it. So I'm not blaming nobody in the situation. It's just you have to fill it somehow. It's just, and like I said, and sometimes it feels like it just kind of it can it can get lost in the sauce. I guess is
Yeah.
the best way to put it. So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, let's just head it off like this. We will discuss SmackDown a little bit because there there's a couple of good paths that they're doing that I don't think is we're not really looking a lot about it, but we'll discuss it today. We got WWE Rhea Ripley Women's Championship wins back. Oh, at Backlash. I don't know if they're doing a women's match except for Becky and Lyra. I pulled up the card and I was surprised to only see 5 matches. So we're going to talk about that because I got a problem with that. I thought it was going to be 6, and if it was 6, I had no problem with a certain match being on the card. But we'll discuss all that, folks. We're going to go into it. WrestleMania Rhea Ripley. Oh, okay, okay. We'll see. I think Rhea's. I guess me and Ladarius will say it like this: when it comes to Rhea Ripley, don't worry, she's going to be made. And here's the other thing: there's a rumor that her and Buddy want to have kids. You have a family and everything. So, if that's the case, when and is she going to be out of WrestleMania? That can happen. And look, if they decide that, awesome for them. So it's not like it's a bad thing. you know,
Yeah,
Becky
it's
can have a kid. These women can have kids. Let them have them if they
yeah.
want.
But Becky Lynch kind of set the that yeah, you can have kids, you can go away, go be go be a mom,
Yeah,
and come back whenever. And I think, like I say, we'll talk about more about Becky later in another context, but in that context, it really set the like yeah, listen, like it's always like a double standard for that when it comes to women and men in pretty
yeah,
much any industry when it comes to like so. I mean, if I'm like you, if Buddy and Rhea want to go have kids, God
yeah,
bless them.
yeah,
Let them do it because it's all about the shelf life.
yeah,
Because how long can you do this without? I just put it this way, and then we can keep the train moving.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And just women have more to contemplate making that decision than men do.
Yeah, they do, and they're I think if you look at people like Natalia, and this is not like a shot at her,
Yeah.
but even she said she had to weigh those things in her life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, some will make the decision to not, but some
Yeah.
will want to. And my thing is this: as over as Rhea is, honestly, it would not. If she, I honestly would say, like with her and Bianca, if they went out of the picture for a little bit, would not be a bad thing
Yeah.
because the moment they come back, fans are going to lose their minds. They love them.
And the women's division right now is just it's at a whole different level. So
Oh God,
so so
yes,
so, so I 100% agree with that. It's not
yeah,
one of those things where like oh, we need this that used to be the narrative. I'd say about maybe 5-10 years ago. You would
yeah,
if stars like that were to leave, but like now it's a whole new ball game. And listen, if if like I said, Rhea and it's fine because like I
yeah,
said, and I'll emphasize it again, they have more to contemplate than men do.
yeah. They do.
There's
They do. They
and
got to
I'm
do the job. They got to take care, and it is harder, but yet it's all right. Let's just say it. When the guys, they have, their wives have kids. The guys may be there a week. Well, the moms not so much. They got to be there a little longer. So
Right.
you know, and then there's that comfort. There's that connection. So look, it it's all a part of it. Okay. So that's why, when I read that about Rhea, I went, if that's the plan for her and Buck, man, please do whatever you want. So
Yep.
that's a little, shout out to Rhea and them. Um, but let's talk about the releases first.
Hmm.
And here's my thought on it, because I kind of was quiet, and I wanted to be quiet because I wanted to see what people thought. Wanted to kind of see what the temperature of the room was. Normally, I would go off and lose my mind, but in this case, I'm not losing my mind because I, I think Braun Strowman, we have said many times with Braun Strowman, he doesn't look as fast as he used to be. You could definitely tell he's ailing. But the work that he did with Jacob Fatu, there's going to be a thank you from Jacob to him because of the fact that, he made Jacob look good,
Hmm.
and that's nothing against Jacob. It's just you need a dance partner to help you bring you up to that level.
Yeah.
So, I think when I think of Jacob Fatu, or when I think of Braun Strowman, I think of what he did with Fatu and Bronson Reed. Very important to think about those. Look, if Bronson, takes oh, Craig says, hold on, let's bring this up. Hello, friends. Craig, I want to tell you, I saw the picture. Ladarius has asked me not to put the picture up,
Yeah.
but I just
I
want
just want to know that why wasn't I? I was told about the picture, and I would have felt it came better from from Craig. And I'm not saying it's not your fault. It's
no, I get it, I get it. That's why
I would be like,
when
oh,
Craig's
been
right
like, oh,
there,
it's like,
I should
oh.
show the picture. I think, but I don't want to.
I mean, look, yeah, you can show it. Fine,
Okay,
fine.
I mean, look, it's a beautiful picture. I mean, look, the sweet outfit that he's got you in, and look, when you need stamina to go all show, I mean, I'm not saying we need a sponsorship, but Blue Chew hook some guys up. We can help you. I mean, I got the spokesman. I mean, look, I don't think he needs it, but
Listen.
you know,
It's for the, hey,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just hey,
it's for the
if
greater
you
good.
if you're trying to perform, you need some help. And by the way, this was filmed completely in Iowa, so if you can tell by the background.
Oh
So
yeah, it's a beautiful setting. And by the way, I love the suit.
surprisingly enough, it's hard to find that suit. I had to fly the suit in, and
Oh wow, it's a
Iowa
like I
only
said,
has
the
so
lighting's
many
great.
clothing stores. So
You look very comfortable. That's what I want to tell you too.
yeah, it's listen when you're selling a great product like Lucha,
Yeah,
like listen, while it may be listen for this show, sometimes this show goes on for almost 3 hours,
yeah.
and
You gotta,
sometimes yeah, listen, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
yeah,
And hey, so so the good people saw say, hey, try it. They said, we know you're good elsewhere, but for this
yeah.
show,
But
like
sometimes you just need that extra, just to make sure that you can make it for the full 3 hours. Look, look. I just think Craig, you did an amazing job. And
oh
look,
yeah,
nothing
it,
wrong with that picture. I think
it
so.
will be it will be reflected in his pay. It will be
Yeah,
reflected.
exactly. And like I said, if we get a sponsorship, we may have to be like, hey, Ladarius, I think we got something for you. Because
Yeah.
we have to thank
Say,
Craig.
your
So,
profit sharing. Oh, it's good stuff. It's
oh
good stuff.
yeah, yeah. We'll get, like I said, Blue Chew. Contact us, me, Ladarius. We got you. We don't mind. Um, but yeah, just so when I saw guys like Ron Strowman, I was like, all right. I saw Shayna Baszler. I was like, okay. And then I was surprised. I heard Shayna Baszler is 44,
Hmm.
and I was like, wow. Because I thought Natalia was older than her, so
Oh,
apparently she's not. But my thing is this: I truly feel like if Shayna she can go anywhere, she really can. she can go to the blood sport. She can go to MMA stuff. She can go the route of she isn't that bad off. Um, what she wants to do. And I think that's going to be the theme for all these people. But what was your thoughts about Braun and Shayna?
Well, with Braun, it's not super surprising.
Yeah,
But it's still, listen, when people lose their jobs, it's
yeah,
it's it's still sad, like, nonetheless. Because
exactly.
for most of us who lost a job, it's not it's not a great feeling, especially you know especially when you need for your living and your livelihood.
Yeah,
And and as for Shayna, look, if we people throw around the word like misused a lot,
yeah.
but this is applicable to Shayna Baszler. If I told people that Shayna Baszler was, I believe, a two-time NXT Women's Champion, one of the best NXT Women's Champion, period. And when she gets to the main roster, and all those times been the main roster, her only title is a tag team titles. And a lot of that I feel and I feel has to do with, maybe at that regime at that time, I'll leave it at that, didn't see Shayna Baszler as championship material, which is completely unfair. And I think, and to me, is that you put her with Nia Jax, who became a champ. Like,
Hmm.
you put Shayna in tag teams, and they become champion. But
Yeah.
Shayna was never good enough, it felt like, in the eyes of the company, to be a champion. And people could argue, like, but look, if you go look at who was champion, like Nia Jax, her first run,
Hmm.
but I think that the problem is that, and then correct point, time and time again, are reminded that doing what, yeah. Here's the thing, to Craig's point, this is another analogy that makes sense. Just because you were great in college, now you'll be great in the pros.
Okay.
And and I think when we, and then sometimes, even if you, here's the thing, here's another kicker. Even if you weren't that great in college, you can still be great in the pros.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you don't have to. And I think NXT, the biggest problem with NXT is that the one thing issue I've taken with is when you call them up, have something for them.
Yeah.
Because we've seen so many times when people are called up and nothing changes. Like Bianca was a heel, and you call her up, she's a face. You make
Yeah.
changes, even if they're subtle. And in the case of Shayna Baszler, they could have, like, the blueprint was kind of there for Shayna Baszler. And when I
Oh
think
yeah.
of NXT Women's Champions, I think she's one of the only ones, and there's a couple that didn't go on to the main roster and win a singles championship.
Yeah.
And that's pretty telling.
Yeah.
And so, like I say, I to me, I don't like the fantasy book, but to me, I think Bloodsport makes a whole lot of sense. And really, Shayna can do what she wants to do. Her resume speaks for itself, because people who know wrestling and watch wrestling knows her MMA background, knows what the things she can do. So Shayna, like all with all the releases, we'll talk about a couple more, but particularly with those two, I think they'll find homes sooner rather than later. So
Yeah.
it's just with Shayna Baszler, it's just like misusage. Like, she was an NXT World Champion, NXT Heavyweight Champion, Women's Champion, and then you call up just to kind of relegate her to be a tag team partner, and you put her in this pure fusion, like you're just putting her in places
Yeah.
just for the sake of doing it. You don't have a plan, and I felt that
Yeah.
if she was an NXT Women's Champion
Hmm.
and you don't have a plan, I'm not saying she was going to be like top, one of the best, but it's like it felt like they never had a plan, and she was on the main roster for how long? So
Yeah. I mean, look, let's
it,
call it what it is. She was supposed to win that match against Becky, the
yeah.
2020 WrestleMania,
Hmm.
when they went to COVID. Vince didn't like her.
Yeah.
Didn't like her appearance, whatever. Um, and when Vince don't like you, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And you saw how her staying power was, though. She could come up with some good stuff, but yet nobody wanted to pull the trigger on her. I hope it's like this. I hope all these releases look at themselves and go, creativity wise, whatever. But what can be done to actually step up and go, what do I have to do to make sure that doesn't happen again? But I will say this, man. Shayna, I think NXT, like you said, her career at NXT was amazing. And then when she lost that belt to Rhea, that was one of the best moments in NXT.
Mhm.
But not just that, but when she came to WWE against Becky, I was like, this is the rivalry we needed.
Right.
This is the person that needs to give Becky you need to get humbled. Almost like a Rocky story. Because
Right.
she's the man, but they wouldn't do it. And I hate that. Hey Christy.
Hey, Miss
Want to
Christie.
welcome Christy Lewis. Hope you're doing well. And then Caden, all right, Caden and then Katana. I love these women, especially Caden with her videos she does on Instagram. She's a trip. She's funny. She really had a nice heartfelt message. This sucks because I got to go here. This is the actual tag team, and they get released. But
Oh
like we talked
yeah.
about, they've been around for a while, so it was like, I get it, but what what do you think? Oh, and don't do it, Craig. Craig. I wish you didn't go there, man. Come on, Craig. Happy Hump Day. Woosah, woosah. We haven't even gotten to the Becky Lynch portion
Yeah.
either.
Listen, Craig, we're not even 20 minutes into the show.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, let's get through the releases for God's sakes.
I shouldn't be on. I shouldn't be on tilt. Like the goal for the show today is to be on tilt at least no more than twice. That's the goal.
And if you're gonna get tilt, let's get it like through the late part of Raw, type deal.
Yeah, like I don't want to get Becky Hogan because I think I addressed that last week.
Oh boy,
no, you're good. You're good, Greg. You keep me keep me entertained.
Now look, we're gonna talk about Becky because she got on that WrestleMania or Monday Night Raw recap thing they do on YouTube.
Oh, you don't watch that? It's great stuff.
And she fired up some gems, and I was gonna let you just kind of tee off because I was like, damn, did you and Becky like talk before that? I mean, oh, I guess someone's home. So sorry, I will calm down. I just felt like this. I just felt Craig turned into Paul Heyman. I was sorry. Godly. Don't worry, wise man. We'll let you still use the Tanner. Because my God, Paul Heyman used it all that night.
Bro, it's like, how do you know too much is too much? Paul Heyman.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the NXT releases because this is where a lot of things we were shocked by. Cora J. Now, I don't know what she's doing except for she announced that she will be opening up an OnlyFans, so people get excited. I know. I ain't paying $15.99 per month, so, but but apparently that's what she's doing. 27 days she'll be able to go off, and rumor is she may go to AEW. I think TNA would be a really good spot for some of these women, but I do also believe that some of these women should actually try out AEW because they might be able to do something that they weren't able to do in WWE. So, and I think Cora actually fits that. I look at Cora J and I just think, she has a look. I think anything with her was injuries. That's just my opinion. What do you think? I mean, because I thought she was. I mean, they had her like one of the top women at one point.
Yeah, when I think of, we're doing a lot of cross sports references today, which gets me off a tilt. When I think of Cora Jade, it reminds me of two people. It reminds me of specifically, it reminds me of Penny Hardaway.
Okay.
Where it's like when healthy, fantastic.
That's a good.
And I felt that about Cora Jade. when Cora Jade was healthy, and that little in the feud she had with Roxanne Perez over the tag team, and then doing the trash, the belts in the trash.
Yeah. Oh, that
That
was one
was
of the best worked.
and they're kind of off and on relationship. And then when you did kind of see her when she was at TNA, like she kind of fits.
Yeah.
It's just like, listen, just like with Penny, just staying healthy, it sucks.
Yeah.
Because you go to that what could have been situation, and you hate those hypotheticals. And I think with Cora Jade, I think they were trying to push her, like they were trying, but her injuries got in the way. And I don't blame Cora. I don't blame WWE. I understand at some point it's a business.
Yeah.
And you want help, and listen, and I'm hoping the best for Cora Jade in the ring, like the OnlyFans stuff. There's a market for people who will pay. Like me, if I do, there's a cap. If you do it, there's a cap. I have a number, and but not none of it about my stuff. Back to this. But the point is, to kind of put a button on that, is that wherever she goes, like listen, we talk about AEW a lot. Like AEW's women's division is the one thing I really like. It's the one thing that I can rally behind, despite the whole Mercedes Moné stuff. There's talent there, like the Chris Statlander. Then you got the Harley Camerons. You got Megan, like you got Athena. Like there's talent there. You got Willow. It's just I'll be curious to see how that works out. And Craig asked, Jesus, Craig. Well, Craig, if you want to find the answer to that, Craig, get to go on my OnlyFans to get the answer to that question.
Look, OnlyFans. Look. I have ventured on OnlyFans, and I will be very transparent. The only person I bought content for was for Jordan Grace, and it was a very reasonable amount. It was not crazy, was not double digits, so I felt vindicated. But I felt like I was doing good too, because that was during the time. Oh my Lord.
That's true, Greg. That's very true. Listen, and I'll say this: I have to, and listen, you have to be very selective about when you do that sort of stuff. And listen, and for the record, no, listen, they're making. Listen,
they're making money,
right? Listen, 6 figures. Some people are making 7 doing that.
I don't think Vicky Rose has to work again, or doesn't have to wrestle again. That's how much she's made.
Yeah, because see, and that's where when it comes to Mandy, like, listen, even with that situation, like, here's the thing. She understood. It's about life. Like, listen, wrestling is great, but if she could make more doing less. Like, listen, I'm not knocking capitalism. Listen, if you can make money on OnlyFans and there's a market for you and people willing to pay for it, but bam, who am I to say you can't do?
Yeah,
your body, your life, make it do what it do. But yeah, what we're talking about, I gotta go on the OnlyFans sidetrack. But to finish up on Cora Jade, it's I'll be curious. Like you bring up AEW is I can see that. Like, if she goes back to her old, like, Elena Black, if she goes to that, I can kind of see. I can see it because, like I say, I wouldn't be sure, but either way, she'll find a home one way or the other after the time is up.
Yeah, and she's under the NXT, so she gets 30 days as well as. Man, this one kind of made me sad because I really was into Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, and then they released Gigi Dolan, and I'm going, why? But I get it. But my thing is, I liked her, but I know, it's one of those. She could go to TNA. TNA's just brought in Indy Hartwell. There's still some good talent. Look, I'm thinking a lot of these people can actually go over to TNA, and it will actually still help them out. I mean, we just saw Elijah from NXT or from TNA come to NXT to enter in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks a lot like Elias, but I couldn't tell. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that
know that.
beard. Yeah, that beard does something.
Yeah. Gigi is married to no, 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 no.
No, I thought
No.
she was dating that
She's
Zachary
dating
Wentz.
Travis from the Rascals. Yeah, that she
Yeah, I
may
think she.
have
Yeah,
dated Darby, but no, not anymore.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
all good.
he's right. I think like when she was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think 'cause I think I saw the answer. I think she's with Zachary Wentz. I think.
I think
Yeah.
she didn't want to live in the car because you know how Darby likes to talk about living out of his car. And she was like, "No, I can't do that. We gotta live in a hotel or something."
Doesn't work for me, brother. Doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. He pulled a Hogan on her. All right.
That's the moment you pull a Hogan. Not when Hogan pulls a Hogan, it's racist. When
Yeah.
somebody else pulls a Hogan, it's like it makes sense. And
Okay. 28. Yeah. So, all right. So here's the other one. Riley Osborne, because I skipped somebody because I wanted to just get to Riley, and then we're gonna group the next two together. Riley was on Evolved, and then he evolved himself out the door because, yeah, I mean, it
you had
just
that joke
him and
lined up.
Javi Bernal. There was no. I'm sorry.
You had that joke.
I saw Evolve, and when I saw the face to face with Javi and Luke,
Luca Chris. Yeah, I'm like, oh
missing.
man, this is not good.
I was just like, this is some bad stuff, man.
I'm like, he already took an L. He's gonna take the L. I'm like, this man. When's the last time that man won a match? Like we talk about Finn Balor. When's the last time that man won a match?
Let's put it this way: you won't have to worry about seeing when or asking when Javi Bernal has a match. By the way, if these guys go to Indies and are wrestling, if y'all are so serious about, oh well, I'm gonna back. Well, good for
Go
you.
Support him.
Shows.
Go support him. Go buy the merch. Go do all of that. Yeah,
support them. Have fun. It happens. Some guys are gonna get released. Look, Cody got released. I mean, Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder got released. We see what he became. Freaking indie wrestler god now. Okay, this is kind of funny because we're watching NXT and we notice, hey, they got Metaphor back together. And then you see, homeboy, oh God, no more. He's like, oh, I'm so happy we get to have a reunion. She goes, and it's last legend, go, we need to talk. I'm like, damn, girl. I mean, man's happy, Or's happy. And she tells, we all need to be able to stand on our own. This woman killed not only this group, but she killed two members off the show. Yeah. We didn't see Jakar no more. We saw no more Ora, and they gone. I'm like, I get what they were doing. Yeah. But my God, what a bad moment did this feel like? And then she shows up this week. It's my birthday.
I'm like, what? I'm like, no. I'm like, no. Like, this, what?
Hi, little kid. It's my birthday. No,
nothing happened. I'm like,
just gave someone a concussion.
It's oh my God, that was like nothing happened. Like you're gonna pretend we didn't watch and see 4 people on that show, and the next thing you know, 2 of you were gone. Like, we just wasn't forgotten.
She's the meme of the Grim Reaper with the axe.
It's
walking
like
into the ruin.
Man, it's like, oh, it's my birthday. Like what? Like what? Metaphor. Hey, listen. Like, listen, we've seen groups break up. Like, even when the Fugees broke up,
Yeah.
Like, I thought, okay, they're gonna get back together, and they did. Like, but this Metaphor, they ain't never getting like. In the word of Taylor Swift, they are never, ever, ever getting back together.
I'm sorry. I had a point in that one. She's like, "Yeah, we're breaking up. Get these 2 out of here."
And the thing is, you saw they literally walked in different directions, and that's what made it worse.
Oh God, yes.
How are there 4? How are there 3 or 4 directional cues out? Like, listen, I'm like, It's time to go our separate ways. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you tell the separate ways that Jakar was Jakar or was the parking lot? Did you tell them that?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing here?
They walked
What am
into
I
the
doing?
parking lot. They're like, "Why are we here? Oh, we just got fired."
And then it has the nerve to show with Jordan Grace is in. It has the nerve. You know what? Yeah, dare I say the gall? It's like Izzy Dame shows up. Okay, that's great. You know,
Yeah.
I
You
see
can
what they were trying to
understand
do,
that.
and I'm like the height, and I'm like okay, and then
Yeah.
I'm like okay. You know, and I was gonna be like Izzy shows up. That's it. Then all of a sudden, I see. I'm like no, it's my. I'm like what? What? No.
Her crashed out trick decided to take an opportunity.
Right. The breakup is a metaphor for yeah. See, when someone said
Yeah,
yeah,
because hold on. Remember, Nomar was like, "Man, let's get the group back together. We're finally together again." And
listen,
Flash goes, "I think it's time for us to talk." You know.
yeah, Lash was pumping the brakes, and that should have been the sign
Yeah.
because
She hit
no
the
one
break.
was like, yeah, let's get back together. Lash says, listen, that's not gonna work for me because it's my birthday, brother. So you know,
It's not gonna work for me, sister.
yeah, let's hear. Can I say sister on this network? Yeah, we can say it.
Just make sure you say my name the proper way.
Yeah, Stephanie.
Not Benjamin Shelton. That's right, brother.
Bob Lash. Like, what, Bob? Who the? Like Bob the Builder? Like no, like Bob.
And he can't fix that.
Listen, ain't enough nails in that toolbox, pal.
Oh my god!
Even a soldering iron's like, man, I can't do this. I
can only do so much.
I can solder some stuff. This, nah.
Nah. But yeah, Jakar and Org. Look, the whole time I'm going, or when I saw her name, I went, Flash Legend just okie doke the whole group. She killed them off.
Man.
No, good thing. What you call it? Nomar went and got the trophy. He probably would have been gotten too.
It'd have been meta none.
Yeah, meta one.
Meta none to meta one.
She'd be like, throw your ones up.
And then go like this. Throw your ones up. And there's the exit. What?
Oh my god! Someone's got look. I know they don't like breaking fourth wall or commenting when people get released, but sometimes you've got to have a little bit of fun on this.
It's like, and like I said, there was cues. Like, listen, because Jakar's like, because Jakar was like sitting next to Lash, and Lash was saying, which was cutting off. No, I'm talking about. Now I think we need to go our separate ways. So that let me know Lash knew she was. It reminds me of how SNL, when they were writing, when people weren't coming back, like it was like like with the final episode of the season.
Yeah,
and you could tell like who's not gonna come back for next season. And what they did, it was a skit, and it was like people jumping into like this lion, like, and it's like, and those people didn't show up for the next season. It's like that's what we kind of saw in that metaphor thing. It's like you could kind of see who's going to be there and not going to be there.
Yeah.
And then the last show, like that's the part. Oh, it's my birthday. I'm like, your friends lost their job, and you were like,
hey man, she got a birthday celebrate. You know how that is. Hey, look.
Oh yeah, listen, yeah, I get it.
Hold on, best friend loses his job, but it's my birthday. He would want me happy. He wouldn't want me depressed. I'm like,
no, Lash. Man. You see Trick? We'll go out to dinner. Wait, what? You know what? I'm done. I'd have walked off.
Where you want to get that steak? What you two shut up?
There's a steakhouse up the road.
Joe, Markoff, and Wolfgang Gallus are out of NXT. Look.
And they were unevolved. They were unevolved.
Yeah. They fit. Yeah. All right, look. Apparently, if you're on Evolve, you need to get the message.
Like, evolve is not what evolve is a different word than what I thought it meant. I thought evolve means to go up like this.
They got your ass out. Hold on.
Man.
They evolved. They brought the young guys to wrestle, and then they took the old guys and went pow.
Yeah. I'm glad Timothy Thatcher is safe because he was in the. I'm like,
I was surprised to see him, and of course my guy. So
yeah, I'm surprised. I'm like, oh man, Thatcher's like, oh, I wasn't there that day, so they couldn't fight.
Thatcher goes, woo!
I was at Dave and Buster's, brother.
And of course, I know everyone's upset, but Danny Palmer is not in Evolve anymore. She got released.
I'm sorry. What was that name again?
Danny Palmer.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen.
That's all
Yeah,
I thought.
we know. Listen, we know why. Like,
hold on.
Like,
I'm not saying she was a bad wrestler.
no, of course we're not. We're not saying that. We're just saying that decisions were made, and
There's a lot more talent than Danny Palmer.
like when you watch it man.
I'm sorry. I still am laughing about the metaphor.
Listen, Craig, we're not gonna break up. Listen, if you ever hear me use that word, Craig, that means your job is safe. Don't listen. You have a contract with me. You're good.
Oh my god, I'm still. My stomach actually kind of hurts from laughing so hard. That was great.
It's like, I'm like, bro.
And so when I hear about when I hear about or not the results, but when I heard about SmackDown, I was just like, well, the releases, that's going to kind of put a bummer on it. Look, I will say this, and I hope everyone's happy with Cena as champion because now you have the part-time champion. But now it looks like they're doing something good, which is building up that mid-card belt, which is the U.S. title, the women's U.S. title. Yeah, they just released a whole bunch of people, but you know how that goes. Fatu is going to pretty much be going against everybody. So we're going to get Fatu versus Priest versus LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. Thanks to Solo Sikoa. Look, I'm not going to tell you how to work your crew. Jacob, bro, you might want to have a talk with your guy, though. I mean, Solo straight up was like, what about Drew?
You got to tone that down. Like the triple threat, like in Steiner map, you already had a 33.3% chance. And then you added a fourth person, so now we're down to 25%. And that means there's a 7% chance you could lose your belt.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hey, listen. He's a fighting champion. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I'm not questioning that. I mean, we know what you mean. Then we got Miz and Aleister Black. First of all, people are losing their minds because Miz is... Look, I'm not mad. I want to see Aleister. I don't care about Miz.
Why are people... Wait. People are upset?
Oh, people are like, oh, well, this isn't going to help Aleister. This is going to make the crowd bored. You know what? Shut up. You're not the
people... Like, I apologize for interjecting that way.
No, you're fine.
It's like, do people realize that the Miz is a Grand Slam champion?
I think people see him as that, but what the problem is, they just see him as Miz, and they don't want to look at what he's accomplished. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what irks me. No, it pisses me off to a certain extent.
No, I got you.
Where it's like, listen, I understand. Yeah, it's the Miz. But he's probably outside of, you look in the company today, outside of maybe John Cena.
Yeah.
Like, we got John Cena, you got Randy Orton. I could argue, Seth Rollins. I could argue he's one of the most, you can argue top 5 most decorated wrestlers in the entire company. And if you've seen how the Miz operates, yeah, I can understand people, but like, I'm not going to sit here and let y'all treat this man like he's a jobber. Like, that's what we're not going to do. Like, he's going to help Carmelo. He's going to help Carmelo Hayes get to that level, because anybody associated with the Miz there's a reason for it. Like when he was with R-Truth, they were tag team champions. Like, and they, again, so.
I mean, I'm
But
looking forward to Carmelo Hayes and Aleister Black. Look, I'm
yeah,
okay with this. He had that moment last week where he showed up, and then
yeah,
he had this moment where he had a match, and the match was actually good. I mean, you
yeah,
saw where he countered the Skull Crusher finale, which was really cool.
yeah,
I mean, I like I said, when I hear people want to get off and get angry about it, I just want to look at them and go, "Breathe, you'll live."
yeah. I
Um,
think you're gonna be okay.
yeah, it's like, you know what, we could find other things to argue about. To me, this is a passable thing. This I just go, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Um, Piper Niven versus uh, Selena Vega. First of all, Chelsea is in mourning, which was hilarious. I look forward to seeing anything with Chelsea and the Secret Service, and I'm cool with Vega winning. She's the champ now. I'm just not really keen on this music, but it's like this. I'm trying to go past the music to just her. Her work is good, and I've said it before. She's one of those you can actually really push in a mid card, like this. So I just hope more for Selena. I really do. And you know what? If we end up putting the belt on Green again, I don't mind. I just want to see Selena actually have a good run too. So, but
yeah.
what are your thoughts on this?
No, no, I agree. To have Zelina have that moment, and then you saw the moment where, and it was so touching where she took the belt to the 9/11 memorial
Oh, that was
with her
beautiful.
father, and people who
Yeah,
didn't know at the time, like I knew, like people who knew, been following Zelina, knew that her father had died on that day,
yeah,
and for it to be the United States Championship belt
yeah.
to take there to show,
Beautiful.
it's, you know, whether you, no matter how you feel about Zelina, that was a moment, and the way
Yeah,
that, how she's celebrating with that belt, it's it's well deserved. And listen, I would, that's why I say these women mid card belts were built to have sustainable, meaningful runs. And Chelsea had the inaugural had her sustainable run as the inaugural champion. Zelina's going to have her solid run, and I'm equally excited for it. And also, I believe it was Piper Niven's birthday the other day, so happy belated birthday.
yes. Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Piper. One of
don't
the
don't tell Naya, but yeah, happy birthday.
yeah, yeah. We don't, we're not doing that to
I
you.
value life. I value life.
And of course, Triple A or Randy
Who?
Orton. He had a promo about John Cena. Look, when it comes to the promo stuff, I'm not going to rank them. This is what
Yeah,
you're supposed to do.
yeah,
Randy Orton is going to talk because he has to. Cena will be there, so that's another appearance. Um, I look forward to the match, or it's like this. Everything that's been happening looks good. When the bell rings is going to be. I think they just need to call the show when the bell rings because, man, it's going to be rough. So, but here's my thought: Randy Cena, they know each other, and I get it. They've wrestled thousands of times. People like, oh, that doesn't mean they have that great chemistry. Look, they're going to have a. They'll come up with something. I don't think it'll be as electrifying as great as other matches, but they will come up with something. And I keep saying it wouldn't break my heart if you did the same finish that one pay per view. But anyway, uh,
oh man.
that would piss some people off. Out that, yeah, I hear you there. And like I said, the Zelina Vega thing, that thing with the 9/11 was more touching, and I just it to me I loved it. That's what I like. Doing something like that. She's been open about so much, with her heritage, with the being a 9/11 survivor. She's from a manager who's now a champion, and I mean that should tell you something about her. And I mean I'm very happy about this. Had some lucha action with Phoenix and Escobar. Phoenix wins the match. All I gotta say is, man, they're doing something right with this kid, and I'm also liking what they're doing with Santos Escobar with Andrade. They haven't had the Latinos around each other all the time, So now we're finally getting them together. It feels more natural,
Mm-hmm.
where before was forced. So I'm okay with it now. But what was your thoughts about all this?
Now, I think the biggest thing, and to your point, initially, when they started doing it, it felt like, well, we got to put them together because, but no, there's meaning, there's story, there's significance because they brought up Ray, they brought Ray Mysterio
Hmm.
and how much, and I think when you add substance to it, it makes it meaningful. When it doesn't feel like, oh, we're just putting it is like I mentioned earlier. Like when you just throw people into things, you could tell when you're just throwing people into things for the sake of doing it. But what we're getting, like the Phoenix was fantastic, and then we're getting this with Andrade, and we're getting Santos. Like there's something there, and it doesn't feel forced. It feels like, oh, this is going to be good, and it makes you excited. And so, like I said, the match was great, and I'm looking forward to seeing, listen, Santos and Andrade, get it in the ring. Like, I mean, it's intriguing now. Now it doesn't feel forced, and then, like I say, the addition of Triple A, like WWE is investing in the lucha, in the lucha, and it's good business because I'll just had WCW stuck to the route that they were going on. I'd argue WCW would have been in business a little bit longer had they, because they initiated kind of the idea of the lucha and the cruiserweights and the lightweight. Like there's something there, and so like I say, I didn't mean to go off track there, but yeah. But all in all, it was enjoyable and just curious to see where it goes.
Yeah. And the main event was set up earlier in the night where we had Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton to go against Naomi and Nia Jax. Somebody likes, and they definitely got to go at it in a tag team. And what was it? The winner of that was actually. Give me a minute, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it was Cargill and Stratton, and Naomi and Jade took the loss. But it always depends on who's holding the belt at what time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Naomi. And again, some people were not thrilled about Jade being near a title. I don't care about that because I think it's all part of a story.
Yes.
And my thing is this: if we are including Tiffany in the Jade and Naomi feud, I don't have a problem with it. Let's kick it to Nia. And the reason why I say it, let's kind of have that clear cut final. Let's just do a final match with her and Nia where she can actually tell Nia, I've beaten you. You can't come at me anymore. You got to come up. You got to figure another way around. Okay. And then you got Tiffany now looking at Naomi or Jade. And then maybe we'll see somebody else come through. Um, Money in the Bank is going to be happening also. I think that'll play in a role. Look, Naomi needs to win Money in the Bank. If she does not win the championship by then, I am going to go ahead and say I think Naomi needs to hold at least get the briefcase. She is just. I like the music. I like the I like the persona that she's created with this. But what say you? What do you think about this tag match?
Yeah. I'll just be brief for the sake of time.
Yeah, yeah. But
Listen, for Money in the Bank, listen. Either I'd be fine with Naomi or Jade because there's a storyline,
yeah,
and the thing is with Naomi, like I cannot say this enough about transitioning from being a face for a long time and embracing the heel aspect. I feel is difficult than going from heel to face
yeah,
because we've had people become heel to faces. Listen, i.e. Bianca Belair. We've seen that, but to me, it's harder. Like it's a little bit harder of a transition. It shouldn't be that easy. And listen, John Cena may look it easy, but I always say the common thing with John Cena, what makes it work, is his work on the microphone. That's what made the move and the transition feel seamless. And Naomi, not that terrible on the mic. So, and then when she fully embraced those vignettes, Yes. And I think having another Stratton versus Jax match, albeit at Backlash or this Friday on
Yeah.
SmackDown, I'm okay with that. And to your point, it not only does it create a level of definitiveness, but it kind of creates another path for Stratton, where now we can start building that road to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And listen, if Naomi or Jade, listen, that storyline is going to play a huge role. And I wouldn't be shocked if you see Bianca, showing up a little, showing up a little bit more often, and maybe she wants a championship again. To me, it just feels like having Tiffany Stratton involved. It makes a lot of sense. But not only that, like I said, you need people on this journey, and and we saw when you have like title runs, it's always hard to kind of get opponents
Mm-hmm.
depending on the length of the reign.
Yeah.
And so you may see some classics, i.e., repeats, but it works nonetheless. And I think for Naomi and Jade, I think one of them has to win Money in the Bank for the storyline to progress in the way that I think we both kind of see it going. And it's no disrespect to other competitors that will be in there, but I always say, like, you don't have to have a championship, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to have I wouldn't be shocked if Stratton faces one, Jade or Naomi, potentially at SummerSlam, or or we don't know about Money in the Bank. I'm assuming they'll be in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So like I say, I like where they're going, and like I say, to me, I just lean toward Naomi. If Naomi wins it, I'm like, having Naomi with the belt, I wouldn't be upset at. And for those saying that Jay doesn't be near a belt, y'all gotta chill. Y'all just gotta chill.
Yeah.
Because
I saw so many people losing their minds when she had the belt in her hand. I'm going, guys, breathe.
like,
And not only that, it's actually good that she touches it.
right,
Because
it's like, why would I mean, I apologize, but
yeah, go ahead.
why would you not have her in the title picture? Why would you bring her in and not have her in the title picture sooner rather than later? But
Mm-hmm.
nobody's saying she's gonna beat Stratton. Nobody's saying any of this. But
Hey,
here,
Ladarius, who else is out there?
exactly, that was my point.
Yeah.
Like, folks, literally look at the roster, and I always say this question. You hear me say it a lot.
Yeah.
If not, okay, you don't want Jade in the picture? Okay, cool. Then give me two other names.
Yeah. Like, okay, here's one for you. Someone could say, well, what about Liv? Well, she's doing a movie. Now, if you want to say Raquel, I could figuratively
Sure.
find a way to do it, but she's in Raw. I mean, she's not going to go over there just for craps and giggles.
Exactly. It's like, if
Yeah.
you don't, like, I tell people this, y'all tend to forget that, yes, it may have been a different promotion, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all know she held that belt, that TBS belt, for how long? And she had a streak. So
Like
let's
500 and something days.
let's not pretend that, like, don't pretend that Jade can't be a champion. Yes, we could argue that maybe some of the things, but listen, folks, transitioning from one company to another,
Mm-hmm.
people say wrestling is wrestling, and I say yes and no.
I say no.
Yeah.
Because, like you said,
Here's why I say yes.
you go ahead.
Because I say yes because I try to be open minded
Yeah, no,
and
I
listen
got
to what people say. Me personally, I'm like, listen, wrestling to me is wrestling.
you.
You
Mm-hmm.
may have to teach how certain things are done, say from a safety perspective. But like wrestling, we've seen people transition from company to company, and they look pretty good doing it.
Okay,
But
yeah, I got
sometimes, but sometimes you may need to polish up some things. That doesn't mean like, oh, you scrap the whole thing. Jade Cargill has been a champion, and y'all don't want her near the belt, then folks. It's like this. Then who else? Like,
Well,
I tell people, who else? And the thing is, there's nobody else.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's
respectful.
what I just said.
Like,
Well, yeah.
who's left? Because
Well,
it can't
my
be
thing is
Zelina.
this.
Zelina's champion.
Yeah.
You can't be. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna say. We're gonna get some resolution
Yes.
when it comes to Bianca. We are. It's gonna happen. How? I don't know. But to me, that's like the biggest block that has to move in this.
Yes.
Or chess piece. All right. I think Jade will win a title. I think Jade may get cashed on. It happens. And you just do it so that moment is even bigger. What's up, April and Ron? Hope y'all are doing well. We usually have Ron or April to come by and say hey to us. So, and John, I promise I'm going to go over your stuff, but I kind of want to go over it while we're going over Raw because you kind of gave some cliff notes here. So I'm definitely going to use it. But let's just jump into the Raw review because here's the deal. Jey Uso comes out and he's doing his yeet, got the crowd pumped. They roll it back up again, do it. Cool. I get it. He wants Logan Paul, and I'm going, okay. So, and I vaguely remember him saying, Logan is here. And then Paul Heyman comes out. And Paul, you gotta lay off the bronzer, bro. But my lord. You know how we always get mad at somebody when it says, you never really told us why you did what you did. You can't say that with Paul. He almost had a heart attack telling you why he did what he did. But my lord, thought the man was about to kill over. I mean, even the point Jade looked at him was like, you good? I was like, dang. And the whole promo was just brilliant. I'm not going to go in word by word because I know a lot of people do that mess. I don't like doing that. But let me at least say this. Paul Heyman paints the picture of he was the victim. Almost like how Seth Rollins said he was the victim. And like I said, I'm going to throw it to Ladarius after I bring this up. But honestly, one of the best ways they did this, and look, I love it when they start with an angle and end with the same angle. They looked at Jay and basically said, hey, man, we just want a match. With Seth deserves it. He's beaten Roman and CM Punk. And he wants your title. And Jay just says, any place, anytime, let's do it here tonight at Omaha. All right, fast forward a little bit. Paul Heyman walks up to to Seth and basically goes, you called it. Which, loved that part, by the way. Loved it. He did a little education with Braun. I love that too. But what did you think of just that whole dynamic? I thought it was probably one of the best promos I've heard in a while, especially from Paul. Paul usually is good at it, but he's kind of been like hit and miss lately. But this one I thought hit well. What did you think?
Listen, Paul Heyman on the microphone.
Yeah, he looked like an orange for real, dude.
Look, he looked like. Listen, let's keep it 100 here. My guy was looking like the Oompa Loompas. Like when they get older, that look like Paul Heyman. Like, when they say too much is a good thing, that's not applied to that situation. Like, somebody need to step in and say no. Like Paul, you're a Hall of Famer. You're on the Mount Rushmore of managers. But my guy, like, how many cans did you use? Like, we got it. Like, listen. And someone showed, like, when they showed a picture of like Triple H, him, and who else? Hogan, like Hollywood with, Hollywood Balea. I'm not going to say his name because
yeah. We don't.
And the Undertaker, looked like the least orange guy there. And Undertaker, like that guy was orange, and to say that he was the least orange guy there, it's like I'm gonna leave it at that. But as far as
looked like he used bronzer in the mild states.
Right, it's like, folks, listen. Here's a PSA. I need someone to really answer me this question. Why the hell are y'all using that bronzer stuff? Like, listen, if you're pale, go get some sun. Like, I'm not saying, oh, it's easier said than done. No, it literally is. You see the door, you turn that knob, you go outside. Oh, what's that big orange thing in the sky? Take your ass to the beach. Do something. Okay? Because listen, all that bronzer, listen, no.
I don't think.
And get some SPF. Listen, if you're on the pale side, get some SPF. Yeah,
Youthful, allegedly.
if they want to look youthful, go to the Fountain of Youth here in Florida. All right, go down to St. Augustine. Yeah, go look. Go find the Fountain of Youth. Because whatever that orange stuff, the youthful is a word. I'll leave it at that. It's a word. Would I apply it to this? Like, no. It's like, listen, you hide them in the pumpkin patch, you won't find them. All right, that's what I'm telling you. Like, hey, which ones are pumpkin? Which ones are people? Like, listen, you figure it out, America.
Pumpkins out. What could you see?
Exactly. It's just like, listen, what's up, Tracy? Rollins maybe no superstar that is much, but that is just as much or even more conning than Paul Heyman storyline. Yeah, and the thing what works, like, not one word that Paul Heyman said was wrong.
No,
because I talk about this all the time. When you put people in precarious positions, to be fair, CM Punk put Paul Heyman in a very precarious position. Yes. I understand they're friends, but see, here's the thing. You thinking that taking away Paul Heyman from Roman Reigns was a great idea. All you did was make Paul Heyman conflicted. Mm-hmm. And what we saw at WrestleMania was the result. And listen, I tell people all the time, if you force me to make a decision, you're not going to like the decision. And guess what? A lot of people didn't like his decision. But and listen, he talked about that on the microphone. Like, he didn't say not one thing wrong.
No.
And because I say you can push people so far. Like, what did you people and like and what irked me during the match? Y'all blaming Paul, like y'all sitting there yelling at Paul Heyman.
That's our announce team. You know, the wonderful non-biased crew.
And it's like, y'all know he's the victim. I said, why people? Here's the problem. He was not believable as a victim because he was always the perpetrator. So it was not hard for him to believe that he was the victim. But he was the victim.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch, he was conflicted that whole match. It was great acting, but some of that was legit confliction. And he laid it out on the line, in that promo. And I'm like, when he talked about Seth, he talked about he got tired of people he did not just what was best for business, he did what was best for Paul Heyman, and he did what was going with Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins was the one guy he didn't have a connection to, and not only that, he never pressured him. It was relatable because people didn't understand that Seth was a victim too.
I mean, I love that Seth is the one that looked at him and said, "Did Roman show up after the Solo threw you through a table?"
Yeah.
Oh no, he waited, didn't he?
Yeah. And people are like, that's where the connection comes. They both know what it's like to be the victim.
Yeah.
Like we're blaming the wrong people. It's just like somebody we'll talk about later. Like, y'all just can't believe people can be victims. Paul Heyman was. And we saw, and then with Jay was great. And that led us to it was just like, when you see that, it's just fantastic to watch. Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that whole segment could have gone longer. I didn't care. It was that good of TV. Penta versus JD. That was a good match. Penta wins. Chad Gable shows up for some reason and gets a drop kick for his cause. So I thought the match was good. And like I said, I loved the backstage part with Heyman talking about how Uso fell for the trap, and everyone's all like laughing about it. They were putting over McDonough, uh, since the injury and everything. So, what did you think about the JD McDonough Penta match, and also if you want to talk about the Braun and uh, Strowman stuff, or not Strowman, but Braun Breaker with what was it with Paul Heyman?
Listen, it was good. I think Braun Breaker adds a different element that's needed, and I think people have to understand is that what make the reason why I say it's needed is because listen, when we talk about the future of WWE, Braun Breaker, I could argue it's a short list, but he's on it in terms of being the face of that company. And I think people have to understand is what makes it more interesting, what makes it what's the word? I don't use the word interesting, but what makes it intriguing is that you kind of saw the way how Paul and Braun kind of reacted, how they kind of talk to one another.
Yeah.
And listen, the one thing that Paul Heyman is great at selling you the picture. That's what makes him great. He's great at selling you the picture of what you could be and the potential that is there. He sells you on it. And that's what makes it great. And so I guess what's the best way to kind of put it is that, listen, like I said, I love the segment. So it was just great stuff all the way around.
Oh yeah.
In all honesty. So
I will say, we probably don't get to see a lot of the stuff that happens backstage where Paul may be working with Braun and a lot of guys. But man, just to have that little glimpse, like you said, when he's talking that big picture, it's like you could see how people want to follow him. It's just really good. It's really cultivating. I love it. I thought the match with JD was good, actually. I thought Penta looked good, and I thought JD looked good. He needed that. It's just funny how, the Judgment Day still comes off as a comedy act sometimes. And it's like, I know they're trying not to be now, but it's like, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to ignore it.
Yeah. Karrion Kross, people may thought he didn't do a promo or something, but he did. It was during the commercial act, which thankfully I got because I got rid of my VPN because my VPN was causing me to watch commercials. Which I didn't understand that. I was like, I thought this was supposed to not help me watch commercials. But anyway. But the devil you know versus the devil you don't is basically what he said. And he was calling his fans bad guys. I like that. Look, Kross is getting over without being in the ring. So I know people are mad about the releases. I know people are mad about, they should have had a chance. This guy, you could say, doesn't really have many chances. But when he's in front of the camera, he's making the most out of them.
Right.
We got to give this man some credit. This man is, like I said, give him something, watch it. I'm waiting. He might be my dark horse for this year. He may have a breakout year.
Oh yeah.
Sheamus comes back to murder Austin Theory because Grayson Waller was too scared to wrestle him. But honestly, that's all I wanted to say on that one. Look, it's good to see Sheamus back. But what do you think about this match? Because you know where we're going next. Because this is the one I can't wait to talk about.
Yeah, listen, God bless Austin Theory. That's all you can really say. And
when he goes babyface, watch out.
Yeah, like that's the moment where, is and Craig hit on the head with Karrion Kross. You have to, and this is important. You have to maximize the time that you're given. And I think that's to the point where Craig's talking about. Because listen, people have to understand that you can only get so much time on television, TV time. But what you do with it, if you can land and make an impact, then those 3 minutes you got last Monday, that three becomes potentially five, and then that five becomes 10, and it's amazing, like how that works. Is where
Yeah.
they're not going to give it to you. They say, "Well, hey, Kieran, we'll give you three, and if you could knock people's socks off in 3 minutes, hell, even in two,
He's
you're getting."
forcing it not just on the promos, but just look at his socials.
Yeah,
His socials are legit.
that's the. And here's the thing: social media, how it's
Yeah.
being used. Like, look at Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a guy who, and Craig said also Chelsea Green is what. Like,
Ow.
listen, it's like life. You have to take what's given to you
Yes.
and maximize it,
Chad
because
Gable.
not everybody is going to get like how we see, the 15-20 minute promos or
Yeah.
time in the ring. You may get that 2-3 minutes, but what you do with it could lead to something great. Like, you look at Chelsea Green, you look at LA Knight. And I'd argue like Jacob Fatu. Like, Jacob Fatu been in the company a year, and he's already United States champion.
Yeah.
So what does that tell? Is that when there's time, and like when he's doing that, jumping those flips off the top, it's like he's reaching that crowd, and he's getting to that crowd in that maybe 3 to 5 minutes he's given. It's like, oh man, that Jacob Fatu's a beast. He's a monster. Mission
You know what
accomplished.
Jacob Fatu's doing? What Bronson Reed was doing.
Yeah, it was just going in like those two.
Yeah.
And like here, and then here's the thing. And then it's also important who it happens to. Like, listen, Bronson Reed was throwing tsunamis on Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
Arguably the best, arguably one of the top, if not the top worker of the last decade in that company. That's an impact. Like, people think, oh, you can just do no. And look who Fatu was doing it to. He was doing it to Braun Strowman, who people
He did it to Cody.
like,
He did it to
and
Roman.
Cody, and like
Yeah.
he go look at the work, and you're given that time to do that. It goes to show you, maximize the time that you have.
And
Not on the mic. Go to utilize your socials, and more importantly, utilize your skill set to make it work where you can be able to do it. Be willing to make changes. That's super important. Be willing to be honest with yourself and say, I need to tone this down, raise this up. I need to tweak this in order to get that to work. Carrying across is done. Like, putting the work in, people are like, oh, it's obvious. There's a lot of people today who are not in wrestling because they were not willing to take the time to tune in and be honest with themselves and their work and how it needs to be fixed. Because it's not just about in-ring ability does matter.
Yeah.
You could always improve in the ring. You go to the performance centers, you can do all that. But the mic stuff, the social media stuff, listen, either you have it or you don't. And if you like Chelsea Green has always been great at socials for years, even before she got to WWE. And all she did was take that, and then when she got on television, she maximized her time. We went from calling her, people say, "Oh, that's a Karen sort of character," and she became the inaugural Women's United States champion. We knew she was great in the ring. We know Karrion is great in the ring.
Yeah.
Maximize your time. That's the overall lesson. I think this is the takeaway in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm with you, because I think with Karrion, he is just someone that makes you go, I'm watching him. I'm watching him. And he just has that ability. He always has that ability. When he was bald, when he had hair, it didn't matter. He had that look. He had that, the eyes tell you. And I know Adam Cole, that promo hurt him. But in reality, I hope it ends up saving, because it showed he's more than just all the stuff, because he has stripped down at one point. Man, let's talk about it. Lyra and Becky Lynch. Now, some people are saying that Becky wasn't sound. It hasn't really sound really great as a heel. Here's my thing.
Oh my
Hold on,
god.
hold on. Let me. I'll say.
I'm drinking my drink. I'm not saying
All right,
anything.
all right. I'm just telling you what I've heard, and then and I'll tell you what I think. First of all, stop with the Becky crap about her heel work. She is doing what she's supposed to. Okay. Now, a comment like this, Lyra cooked Becky. Here's the thing I'm going to say. We're seeing Lyra. This is to bring out what's within Lyra. Now, I will give you my thought on who wins when we pick the winners. But honestly, I cannot wait for this match. I think this match is going to be good. And also, I look forward to seeing what Lyra does because Lyra, it's almost like a prove it round. This is like you could really feel that energy. And it's like, this is good to me. I think it's good. I like Lyra. I like Becky. Becky being a heel. Becky, hold on. Becky, I got to get this made me laugh. What she was saying in the ring, at one point I closed my eyes and I thought she was talking to me. Because I'm the guy that takes out the trash and I'm going, no one ever thanks me. I take the trash out. I take the recycles out. I bring the cans in. And then when I heard her say that, I went, I almost wanted to pull the rock. I just wanted to see if my goosebumps were popping. So what do you think, man? Look, I, that's what I thought, but what do you think?
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
ticket to the show,
folks. And to John's comment, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
That was the goal of what we saw on Monday. Becky was trying to put over Lyra.
Yeah.
And whether we listen, y'all don't, some folks don't like to admit it. Y'all want to keep throwing around that Becky Hogan nonsense. But let me tell you what Terry Bollea never did. He never did none of that.
Yeah.
He never show me an instance where he was willingly putting over people to help benefit not just the company, but for the individual wrestler themselves. Like, if you can show me that moment, I may peel back, but I'm not. So don't bother.
Don't tell me Sting.
Thank you. If you guys tell me that man put over Steve Borden, listen, y'all. The man was already like, forget it. I'm not gonna get into
that. Join Hogan and Bischoff on the retired Twitter video.
Jesus, it's like
that was so stupid.
Yeah, the reason why it was black and white because their thoughts are black and white. That's Because listen, them in color. Listen, Hogan, we all know Hogan in color doesn't always get along. Now, so,
woo!
Well, why was it black and white? Yeah, that was why. Fun fact. How do I know? I don't know, but it feels right. But when Becky Lynch was on the mic, her whole thing about Bailey, calling Bailey taking a picture.
Bailey part was great.
It's like, and to your point, basically she was saying y'all was basically cool with Bailey. When Bailey was a heel, y'all was okay with that. But the minute I beat up Bailey backstage at WrestleMania, I'm the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the heel. And she embraced it. And here's the thing. The whole goal of that thing was to put Lyra over and mission accomplished. And I can argue she did it for 2 straight weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We know Becky Lynch can hold herself on the microphone. And listen, maybe, especially 2 weeks ago, she cooked. Absolutely cooked. Mm-hmm. This week was not about Becky getting over on Lyra on the mic. This was about putting Lyra and pushing not just her, pushing that IC title, building the match, whether people don't want to believe it or not. Who else could Lyra have faced that the match you go, I'd watch that match. I tell people, outside of Becky Lynch, And the thing is, C-Dub, that's what aggravates people the most. Because I always ask that question. Well, if you don't like this person, then who? Because here, you know what? A lot of folks can say it, but they don't have solutions. I had a professor who always was like this. When you came to him with a problem, you know what he wanted? He wanted you to give a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think it's a problem, then surely you have a way to fix it. That's how I feel when people talk about Becky Lynch. You cannot argue that Lyra versus Becky sounds a hell of a lot better versus Lyra versus anybody else that's available at the moment. Because well, here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to tell the match at Backlash is going to lead to something with where listen, that SummerSlam match, it's going to hit so because by that point Lyra's going to be over the moon, the galaxy, the Milky Way. She's going to be through everything. And that's because of Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And I'll say this before I put a button on it. When people understand what both Becky Lynch and Bayley has done for the women's division over the last decade, but yet we praise a lot of people praise Bayley, which is fine, but y'all knock Becky because here's why. And I'm gonna just say this: y'all knocked Becky for winning that championship, but who beat her for it? Liv Morgan.
Mm. You might want to say that again. I don't think people heard you.
Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
And what did that do for Liv Morgan? Like, folks, y'all can listen. I tell people this: I'd rather you say you don't like me as opposed to just disagreeing with me for the sake of disagreeing. If you don't like Becky Lynch, that's fine. That's your prerogative and that's your perspective. But the one thing that I will not allow people to do is disrespect the impact she's had on that division and disrespect the work that she's done. Yes, she won a championship, but her reign didn't last, 2 weeks?
Love you.
Because the goal was Jesus, Craig. You knew what I said, Craig. Jesus. Yeah. I said, yeah. He's the mayor. Actually, no, he was the mayor of a city here in Florida. I can't recall which. I think it was Oviedo. But anyway, the point is, Becky Lynch is going to put over Lyra to the moon, and then guess what's going to happen? Becky's going to probably fade away post SummerSlam. But by that time, Lyra's going to be so over that Becky can't slip away like that. Because at the end of the day, you're going to start seeing the transition of this women's division. And Becky and Bayley has done it. And and what we saw was Lyra get over the moon, and Lyra did cook. I wouldn't say cooked, but she did get over on Becky, and that was the whole goal.
Yeah.
So I'm through. I hope that was sufficient enough.
Oh man, that's perfect. No, it's perfect. Look, I'm not going to judge you or anything. I mean, I got it.
Well, that one time you did give me the eye, but
No, I think that was because I knew we were going to talk about Pat, and I really didn't want to talk about him. All right, but
oh wait, when that comes, I'll take over that segment because I don't. Yeah. I think you can still be.
I got plenty to say.
I know, but when we get to that point, just turn over to me, and I'll let you cook.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah,
it's only honorable to do so. But yeah, I thought this segment. Can I just say this? This is how you make a title relevant. They were making the Intercontinental title sound prestigious. They were making it. You want this. You know it eats you up that you weren't the first to win this. So I'm like going, they're doing everything they can to get this belt over. I love it. I have Becky Hogan graphics for next week. Oh man, Craig.
Craig. Man, Craig, show C double, don't show me. I want to be surprised, and then you'll see my reaction.
Great. I feel
My
pressure.
reaction. You'll see my reaction live and in real time. Now,
Yes, folks, and if you missed us in the beginning, because stamina is very needed on this show.
speaking of which, excuse me, hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, Ladarius here. If you're needing stamina, you may want to take one of these fine supplements.
Okay.
These young fine specimens. God,
I got more to say now.
One of my favorite things. What was it? Hearing Ernie Ladd saying that about the junkyard dog. I saw this 275-pound fine black specimen of a man walking through my room, gyrating his hips. I'm like, damn, dude, that sounds awesome, actually.
Gyrate.
Yeah.
Like,
hold on. That's how he started the Hall of Fame speech.
That's that set the standard for how to start a speech. Where do I begin? I saw this. Who's he talking about? He'll get to the name in a minute.
Oh my god. I'm still still cracks me up. All right, so let me see. But yeah, they're making the title feel important. I love that she brought up the 4 intercontinental title defenses she had compared to Becky actually wrestling. Look, this match is going to be great. It really is. And we'll talk when we discuss like who wins, who loses. So, all right. So let's see. Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky.
Roxanne.
Man, she looks perfect in Raw, does she?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what's going to happen. NXT, their women are going to go to SmackDown or Raw. Roxanne looks amazing, and she fits Raw perfectly. She does not have. There's no like passiveness to it. That match with Io Sky, I thought was just flat out entertaining. It was fun. I thought you saw a lot of the best of what Roxanne does. A match that people don't talk about actually was that first time that Jordan Grace wrestled Roxanne at Battleground, and that was a very good wrestled match that Roxanne had in that match. And I just, Julia, seeing her come in, I love the fake out. I was thrown off when she shook hands. I'm like, okay, that's it. I want to heal. What the hell's happening? Sure enough, wham! I'm like, my goodness, should have had an NXT Women's Invasion. And these, I'm with you, but I'm not just yet. I like what they're doing. It's like this. They're doing something good. I want to see more. I want to see because of also the releases too. I don't know what all. Look, you could have had Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend, but Lash Legend was like, I need the spotlight. See ya. She gave Shakara a red shirt, Star Trek shirt. She's like, here, you wear this. Go out.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Should we tell her? Nah.
She's got this. Oh, she got killed bad too. She didn't make it out to the first scenes. Her and Aura are gone. Like, girl, did you set them up? It's my birthday.
I thought we were friends. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that. It's my birthday. So, oh my god. But what did you think about this match? I thought, like I said, it was a great match back and forth, and I just thought it was a really good showcasing of Io as well as Roxanne. But what did you think?
Listen. You know what, Devin? That's perfect. Jakara was that. As cold as ice as that sounds.
Oh, I got to give that a star.
Devin's not that far off.
No, he's not.
Because Devin, if you think about it, like Cameron was used, and it's like, it one had to go. And
Flash was like, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah. Ooh, bop, bop. before I get too far lost in the sauce. Listen, Roxanne and Io, like to your point, they showed the best of their skill set. But when it comes to Roxanne, there's still untapped potential there, and that's saying a lot. When you think about all that she's accomplished in NXT, and going and competing with the likes of it helped her when she did, when she did fight, when you break that match against Jordan, it helped her to fight some, not say, I don't use the word seasoned, to fight somebody different. How do you manage it? How do you go about different people in different sizes? Like, chemistry. And I think the chemistry of the match with Roxanne and Io was absolutely perfect. And Io, like, listen, this women's division is just stacked all the way around. But in the main roster, you gotta kind of build it up. And a great starting piece is Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be a champion sooner rather than later. Because listen, there's a feeling that she might be in the championship pictures, like I say, sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a champion sooner rather than later because of what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
With with Rhea probably potentially maybe going away and doing her thing, and it opens up opportunities. And I think and then Roxanne could be the person in line to do it. And to me, they had like a mini invasion when we saw Julia show up. When Roxanne and Julia showed up, it felt like a low-key mini invasion. So, but like I said, I think Julia might make her way down, but we'll talk about that when we talk about NXT. But the match itself was great. And I'm just curious to see where they go with her. Because listen, the sky, we say it all the time, but the sky is the absolute limit. And like John said something you mentioned earlier, Rhea said she wouldn't start, and that's why I say opportunities could open up. And if Rhea has accomplished a lot,
yeah,
and like I think John probably missed it because I don't think he was early when we first started.
Yeah.
But when we talked about it, and like, listen, John, if she wants to go up and start that family, why not?
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, Becky Lynch set the blueprint, and other female superstars have set the blueprint for that.
Yeah.
And you can go start that family because time and life is so fleeting. So do that when you can. And Devin, you're right. Buddy is
She would be a cute too. Buddy, man, my God, yeah. And not only that, but that dude, man, that dude will be able to hold babies. That's for dang sure. I gotta see him get spoiled by a baby. It will happen to all men. All right. It was a special day today because it was Rusev Day. Oh, Rhea wants a family. At least she has. Man, Craig, if Rhea wants a family, at least she has a good buddy to help her do it. Craig, as corny as this sounds, I'm gonna have to give it a star, but still, just I need you to pull away a little bit sometimes.
Craig.
It was hilarious. It actually fits perfectly. So Rusev shows up, and I don't know if he's the Redeemer or what, but all I gotta say is this: just let him cook. Let Rusev be him. I love Rusev. This man was awesome. Dude did a standing drop kick. I was so happy to see some of the stuff he used to do. The spinning kick, I mean, and just the full blunt attack he was on. What did you think about Rusev on Rusev Day? He killed Rusev Day. We're still talking about Rusev Day.
Listen, to see Rusev on Rusev Day is always an honor. It's always great to see. And I like the fact that they're using that Redeemer angle.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you saw like the package we talked about, I'm like, oh, they're going the Redeemer route. Okay. And listen, him and Otis, that wasn't a terrible match. That was a pretty good
it wasn't.
Match. It was like listen, it's basically, we're using a lot of sports crossovers. We'll keep using it. It's like when you see like that defensive line attacking that offensive line. It's like listen, it was a meat upon meat, and that's what it was like, a big meaty match, and it was fantastic. And like in the end of it, like poor like Tozawa, my guy, listen. I get why you did what you did, but man, you got a family to think about. Like you can't be doing stuff like that. Russo was not going to walk away. He got halfway up that ramp. I said, "Oh, he's going back in the ring." And sure enough, the way the camera did, he stopped, ran and beat the like this Rusev. Like, listen, I'm curious to see if we see Lana, we see CJ, on here as well, to kind of get involved, because now since there's Maxine on that side, so okay. Let's see. And Devin said, kind of off track, but Rusev's greatest AEW opponent, Fuego del Sol, is going through a transformation in GCW. If you're not watching it, you need to check it out. Thank you.
All right. And then speaking of
and
me,
then Jesus, Craig. You know what, Craig?
Hold on. Speaking of me.
Oh wait. Oh wait. It is promo time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's promo time. Am I on? Hi.
Yes. Go ahead. Go for it.
I'm podcaster. Friend to many. Hulk Hogan is my enemy. There is Brown. And listen, folks. When we talk about out of the ring stuff, or in my case, because I'm doing pretty good there. But when we're talking about doing a show of this caliber, when you need the stamina to go all show long, get that patch from Blue Chew. And if it's your first time getting 50% off your first bag. So once again, when we talk about stamina and going all show long, Blue Chew, where meat and meat will greet one another. Now, back to the show.
Man, I never felt a perfect segue like that before, man. That was awesome. Thank you, Craig. And I think even Devin's appreciating that. I don't know what the skull was for, but guess what? We'll take it.
I think that was. Right. I think that's when Hulk Hogan tried to use it and try to. And by the way, don't mix it with no real American beer. You will go to the hospital.
That'll kill you. It'll just make you, inept. Oh, hold on. I used the STW promo code for like 3 years ago. My wife didn't even want to try it.
I don't know what I'm bringing up memories.
Sorry about that, Devin.
Man, listen.
Did you run around the house going, "Here's Daddy"?
Listen, this felt like 28-3 to me. I had a lead. I think I just blew. I blew. I thought there's no way this is like this is gonna be great. Everyone's gonna love it, and then Devin comments, "Jesus,
damn you, Tom Brady!"
Didn't even make the overtime. We lost in the final seconds.
Oh, it's awful.
Well, Devin, listen. You can use my promo code, and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And listen, hey, it's not for everybody. I'll tell you, it's not for everybody. Listen, like I do it for this show. Like for other extracurricular activities, I'm good there because there's other types of motivation, and I'm not gonna go into here because it's a family/not family show. So, but it's okay.
All right.
It is. So, listen, we might do a Backlash contest, and you might win a free couple of packs. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm telling you, Blue Chew, hit us up.
Wait, excuse me. Hang on, just a minute. Hang on. All right, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, you got this. Take it away. We are talking about apparently a face-to-face with somebody and somebody. A Pat Fish and
Oh yes. Okay, so folks, this is the part of the show where somehow or another I'm allowed to have a little control, and like the executive producer part, you see my name at the end of the show. Like this is the part when the executive producer, I specifically requested this. Now he doesn't know I get paid double for doing this. He just gets paid the same. He doesn't know that yet.
Worth the money.
But So there was a segment, and we had Adam Pierce was in the ring, and then he calls over Colts Super Bowl winning punter Patrick Aloysius McAfee from the announcer's desk into the ring. And then getting called to on the other side, former heavyweight champion, former intercontinental champion. Listen, and the thing is, he uses a lot of fixes for that flat. That's the.
It's been flat for a lot of years, brother.
Oh man! Every time I try to, man, it feels like the soldiers don't want to rise to the occasion, brother.
Thank God for Eric. He always knows how to get it up.
Oh man, he just shows me clips of Hollywood Hogan and it gets me going again. Play the music. Oh, sorry. Okay, back to this. We're focused. Oh well, I'm just. I know, David. I'm trying to aggravate C-Dub. Yeah.
Trust me, he won a Super Bowl. Yeah, he didn't win shit. He was on a bench because he was a punter.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, so yeah, because it was the year after the Colt. Yeah, but thank you, Devin. Thank you for everything. Yeah. I see those comments don't happen when C-Dub talks, but anyway, I'm not gonna leave it at that. So Gunther was a champion, correct? So I want to make sure I'm clear because I want to get another email.
No email.
And then we get this little one-on-one thing, and I won't go into the words of it because I forgot about 50% of it. But C-Dub, I know you're the biggest Pat McAfee fan I know. So I'm here to get your thoughts on the promo. We're going to preview the matches on the probably soon. I think we're almost done with.
We have one match.
I will 100% correct. See the truth. I ain't no Hogan. Listen, you know what, Devin? That's the way to live your life. It's the best. Don't be a Hogan. Like even. So see them here to get your thoughts on the promo, the things that were said, and any reaction, because it kind of felt that like McAfee had more to say than Gunther, in my opinion, just watching it, which I understand, because Gunther's a man of action, not of words. He's a man of action, not of words. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on that whole segment there.
I slept. I actually had it on mute, and I had the caption when Pat talked.
Wow.
Because I was focused on DC Dark Legion. It's a great game. I was able to up my Deathstroke by another couple of stars, so it was awesome.
You gotta up that stroking, man. I'm telling you,
dude. Yeah, especially for Deathstroke, man. I was like,
speaking of stroking, get your Bluetooth.
Yeah, oh yeah. Don't want to forget the hips either. All right, so here's my problem. Everybody, hold on? Do you?
That's a great question, though. Do you shoot? Basically, you know what that means. So, well, it sure will, Craig.
You're if you beat me to it.
Speaking of stroke,
I gave him the stroke.
It's not rising. Hell, sir, useth the Bluetooth.
Do you shoot this like Pat? I loathe this motherfucker. But let me first give you my analysis.
Yeah.
I want to be professional because we are professionals. So Pat,
you serious?
Pat McAfee. Every podcaster I've heard say, this is one of the best promos I've ever heard. Oh my God, this is like top 10. First of all, Tommy Dreamer, it's not top 10. You should be shot and your ears should be ripped with barbed wire because you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Top 10 that is not top 10. So I love Pat. He's hilarious. He loves Jay as much as I do. Pat Usi. Look, Amanda, I appreciate you with the comment, that's not going to fly on the C-Double show. No, because here's why. Pat's a fraud, people. And here's the thing. Man is not loyal. Man bumps contracts like you wouldn't believe. Can't be liable for anything. Has a nice little allegation against him, but I will not talk about that because that would be unprofessional. But let's talk about this great promo, shall we? Tommy has a lot of head trauma. He gets a pass. Instead of that country song they should be called Stroking. I see Tommy and the Lions beat a couple of indie guys with a crooked bologna and sea skirts. That's, and I hope you spent your money wisely. That's all I'm going to say. So,
well,
again,
ain't that America for you and me? Okay.
So Pat McAfee goes on this great promo about Omaha, Nebraska. I really was mad at Gunther for this. Because after he was done, then he talks about Pittsburgh and how strong and you're just comfortable. I wanted Gunther to look and go, oh, so you're going to give us a world tour about Omaha? You know the show's in St. Louis, right? You know St. Louis is a wrestling town that don't take kindly to commentators wrestling where a wrestler should be. But no, we didn't get that. We got Pat, saying you're comfortable and you're this and you're that. And I was going to crap on Gunther's response until he did say something. Your daughter's birthday was 2 weeks ago, right? Last week. He didn't yell. He's like, that's a beautiful day. You must be proud. You know what? I cannot wait for Saturday because that's my day. I come back to fight, to wrestle since WrestleMania. And you are right. Maybe I did overlook Jimmy. Maybe I overlooked Sammy. But don't worry, Pat. I'm not overlooking you at all. I'm going to maul you. I'm going to kill you. And the grace of God is going to have to pull my arms apart when I'm choking your throat in front of your bestie. And I just was like, that's my Gunther. There goes my hero. Doesn't have to wear capes either. All I got to say is this. Gunther's the underdog in this match. Because I know everybody wants to see Pat win. So Pat can eat with Michael. Michael and Pat can make out in the middle of the ring because, they love each other so much. It is free will. But I just feel like Gunther's the underdog. I think actually Gunther is... I really think Gunther needs to demand Corey Graves to do the announcing in the place of Pat McAfee and to keep Michael Cole in check. And the reason I say that is because Vic Joseph kept saying during NXT, man, it's really cool to see how Pat really is taking care or really cares about Michael Cole. And Booker and Corey both said, yeah, we're not doing that for you. Oh, you want that kind of protection? Well, shut your mouth. Keep your mouth shut. Well, don't you guys have my back? Yeah, we'll have your back right here. Right back here. That is what you do. Let them fry. So, the frat boy combination, I can't stand it. And like I said, I really don't like Pat. He just rubs me the wrong way. I look at him as the frat boy douche, and nothing changes. He's always been that way. His interviews suck because he has to interject. He has Tourette's. I'm in full belief this man cannot. He'll ask a question and be like, "Oh, dog," or "Oh, yeah, yeah." It's like you want to look at him and go, "Will you shut up and let me answer the question?" Do I need to give you a biscuit? You know, that, and to me, I get where, oh, well, that's just him being him. No, it's too much. And for me, as a wrestling fan that likes commentary, I don't like when the commentator thinks the show is about him. He thinks it is. And to me, it pisses me off. He does it with the women's matches, does it with tag matches, and God forbid if you speak Spanish, he doesn't like that. But yet, although Penta will come by and he's like, "Oh yeah, zero middle, yeah, he taught me that." Yeah, because it's popular. The moment it's not popular, he'll ditch him because he's Pat McAfitch. So Pat McAfish to Pat McAfitch will be confirmed on Saturday when he's getting beat to death by Gunther. So let's see here. We got Pat Cold Knee Blue Chew. Yeah, well, Pat, we all know Pat gets high like the most high. Pat needs to stop eating and look like a goof. Well, that's John. That's what he does. That's Pat. Oh, but yeah, that's right. That's my thought. I thought that when I heard Pat's promo, I just was so aggravated because I'm going. It's like this: wipe Omaha, Nebraska out. Stop it. Okay, it's Omaha, Nebraska. Nothing's happening. A bunch of cornfields. You got a college team. Big whoop. They ain't done nothing since the 80s. I don't care if Matt Rule's there. That means they suck now than they did before. So guess what? Now you want to tell me, yeah, they have Omaha steaks. So what do you want to do? You want to tell me all the good stuff about Omaha? Or are you going to try to sell me this match? So yeah, that was bothering me. Yeah, and I agree. So you there, Ladarius? I'm sorry if I scared
you. No, you didn't scare me. It's I'm glad you got it off your chest. How do you?
Hold on. I'm picking Gunther to beat. Well, hold on. I'm picking Pat to beat Gunther with a jar of M&Ms. A bowl back to Taz and or Jerry Lawler and JR against Taz.
The real victim of that match was the jar.
I think it was a jar of green peanut M&Ms too.
The real loser of that match, that jar of green.
Jar of peanuts, yeah, jar of M&Ms. So I think Craig just said I might need some blue chews after that. I don't know. I've had my experiences.
Things rubbing you the wrong way.
Hate a certain football player for the rest of your life. He'll be time. I'll go to the upper room. Hey, Pat wants to wish you well. Tell that motherfucker to die.
Well, I didn't like it, dude. I did.
Told you that wasn't going to be a good move.
How'd you know? I just knew.
Oh, so let's talk about this main event because I got to go here. I'm not a big fan of matches that get sprung on us, but the way they did the announcement of the main event and really the unpredictability because you really didn't know what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we got Jay versus Seth. And I got to say, I think this is actually one of Jay's better matches again. So just keep pulling them up. But what did you think about the match? And then all the Cornette calls it afterbirth, but I'm going to call it the after party or not even after party, just more like the interference and all that. But what do you think?
Well, like to your point, and I think this is the match, where you just put like what Jay Uso, like he can put on great matches, and this is what we kind of saw with Seth Rollins. And I know, it's not going to take the taste out of some people's mouth because of the whole WrestleMania thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows that Jay can put on some great matches. Like don't let like a couple of matches, sour the taste. Like this was a very, very good match. And were we expecting a title change? Not really. But people are like, Seth's gonna win. No, long-term storytelling. Leave it at that. And as for all the chicanery, doesn't surprise me because when I said, "Oh man, this," I said to myself, "There's no way Seth's gonna win this match." Not because he's terrible, but like, why would he win this? I said to myself, "Why would he win this on Raw?" Like we've seen title changes on Raw. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
like no, for a match of this caliber, I think you can like we get a feel for what it is, and we saw Jake can rise to the occasion. And I think people, like I said, people saw how the match ended with Gunther at WrestleMania and thought, oh, that's a terrible way to. But like I said on a podcast, I said it was poetic given what Gunther was doing to Jay weeks leading up to that match. It was like choking him out. And we saw that choke out with some guy named Pat Mac. Somebody on that show really liked it. So, but
Yeah.
listen, I thought it was great. So it's just curious, where we go from here. That's what it's all about, the curiosity to me. But like that was a great main event for Raw, in my opinion.
Yeah. It was a
Chicanery and
great
all.
it was. It was a great main event. Now, so someone has said, now I have not seen this. So normally if I would have saw it by now, I would have uh retweeted it. But Logan Paul apparently attacked Jay also at the end of the show. But CM Punk was there, Sammy was there. I loved that Sammy showed up. I love that Braun speared him, selling the ribs even more. And my God, y'all need to chill on Braun, man. Braun's gonna kill somebody with that spear. The way he runs through people. Thank God he didn't try to spear CM Punk when he threw the chair. I was like, oh God, don't do it, Braun. Don't do it, Braun. He'll be nice to you because you're a dog. but no, man, I love that Punk was there. I'm glad. You know what I liked the best about it? In all the chaos, Seth was still in control. And that is the most key thing as a leader or a heel leader, whatever you want to say. He's in control of this. And I'm going to go here. I'm loving Monday Night Raw. I really am. I love the Seth Rollins group. Now, are they going to get another member? I'm telling you, even though I just said Austin Theory would make a good face, it'd be great if Seth looked at Austin, looked at Waller, and said, "You come with us." And like Waller walks up and Braun says, "Not you, him." I mean, it'd be like a Paul, something. But I think they do need another person. I don't know who it's going to be. We'll see. But man, and then the other thought popped in my head. I mean, Killer Cross would be really perfect for this spot if you really want to have somebody with Braun. If Braun's representing your future, and you have Seth, you have Carrie, man, that would be a deadly group. I'm just saying. And then you have Scarlett too, so that's another bonus. But just saying. All right, let's talk Backlash because that's coming up this Sunday or this Saturday, actually. If I'm not mistaken, I'm about to pull it up. I apologize. Not ready. So we have for the card so far. This is the so far card. We do not know, like, if there's any changes. You know how this happens. So these are the 5 matches that are scheduled for Backlash. And Backlash is going to be on. I'll get that info later. Apologize. Okay. So we already know about Gunther versus Pat. Who do you think is going to win? We'll start with that because I do not really want to put that as a main event match. This may be like the 3rd match though of the show for real.
Look, Pat Mac, it's a great it's a great story. It's a great story, but we gotta we gotta get people to kind of the difference between fiction and reality. If Gunther loses this match, listen, you want to talk about things getting shut down? Things are going to probably get. Listen. I don't have the same contempt for Pat McAfee as my colleague. Oh wait, I use my other finger. Yeah, my colleague here has. But I forgot it's a mirror thing, so I got to use my opposite hand. Anyway,
I got you.
Technology is fickle that way. Now, but I gotta go with Gunther. I like Pat, but I don't see what would a win do for Pat McAfee. This is the question I ask in these types of matches. We've seen Pat win these type of matches. That's the thing. So at that time it benefited Pat to win those matches. But like respectfully, this is Gunther we're talking about here. He's held a championship 80% of his career. Ain't no way this man's losing to Pat McAfee. So I'm going with Gunther.
I'm going Gunther, but here's the deal. Pat has beaten Austin Theory, Baron Corbin, lost to Vince McMahon in his last match. Oh, that was a non-sanctioned match. Wink, wink, whatever. Vince beat you. That's what we all remember. Gunther's going to kill you. And look, for throwback wrestlers everywhere, I pray he hurts Pat. Normally I don't even care. I usually just go, hey, it's going to be a okay match. No, this one's personal. This is all about Gunther. And like I said, if Gunther loses, yeah, I'm going to be calling out Barry, and I'll be saying it. I'm like, Hunter, what the hell you doing? I'll have an image made out, and it'll be, Hunter, what the hell are you doing? You do not bury Gunther. So, or don't put Gunther in the corner. Well, don't bury Gunther in the corner. So, I mean, there's no need to make your commentator Hulk Hogan. He's not. He's a punter. Now, if he was a linebacker, if he was a quarterback, if he was a running back, if he was a player that actually made impact in a football game and not just kick a ball here and there, I would be okay with it. But it's a punter. I have a problem. So, all for Gunther. I think the first match of the night is either going to be one of these two. The Intercontinental Title Championship match. I think Dominic and Penta should go first. Or I can understand if you do the U.S. title with. There's only 2 matches from SmackDown. That's the other thing. And I kind of wish that we had more, like maybe one more match. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I think Dominic and Penta could either go first or go second. You don't have to. But you definitely got to put in the U.S. What do you think about the Intercontinental title match for the men? Dominic versus Penta. I think Dominic keeps it, but we might start seeing a little bit more issues with Finn Balor, maybe.
Yeah, I think Dominic Mysterio retains, and we get more toward that build that I think we're going to get with Finn versus Dom. We're going to probably get that at SummerSlam. And I think this match, potentially, Finn, may not say try to cost, but may try to, I think he may do something a little bit misconstrued that could be like, oh, I'm trying to help you, but really hurts Dom, but Dom recovers and wins. So as much as I like Penta, I like Mysterio retaining it to build to that long-term versus Dom and Finn.
I'd like to see Finn and Dom in a feud. I would. And look, I think Penta's going to get the belt eventually. I just don't know if it'll be here. The moment for Dom was that moment, and I'm glad that he has it. I like to see what he could do. I really do. I'm a little bit higher on Dom than most people. So I'm looking forward to this match. This is going to be something good for him. That U.S. title match. Oh, my God. There'll be high spots. There's going to be a lot of big men in this match because you got McIntyre, you got Priest, you got LA Knight, and you got Jacob. Who you got? I think I know who I'm going with on this.
Listen, it's listen. If you think about this match, it's like everybody in the match is a former champion in one form or another.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's to me it adds the intrigue. I'm gonna I'm gonna go with excuse me. I think Fatu retains.
yeah.
I just feel that you're gonna see the spots, and then because to me this match is all about Jacob Fatu and what he can do. I think this is where you see the showcasing of Jacob Fatu for those who don't know, or like you're going to see the showcase in the likes of listen facing three former champions, and not only that, and I think it's important to know this particular match here. Listen, it has a low key maybe match of the night vibe. I'm not saying it's going to be, but I think it has that sort of vibe where everybody in that ring's a great worker. Everybody, I think, well, like I always say, what I love about these type of matches, everybody gets their stuff in. I think there's going to be no shortage of that. And I just like Fatu to keep it, in his first title defense in a fatal four way, nonetheless,
Yeah,
to retain.
no problem. I got to go here. I'm going Fatu, but here's I'm going to echo what you said. I think this is going to be the match of the night. I think when you see these four men, they are going to pull off all stops. Especially the disqualification is going to be lax. You're going to see a lot of good bumps. I think you could start this show with this match, but I think go ahead and start the Penta and Dom, and then go into because it's kind of cool. We're going to see both Intercontinental title matches defended. And here's why I said you put Pat and Gunther third because I think Becky and Lyra need to go semi-main. This is where I think, my opinion, and I'll let you talk, I promise, but I think Becky's going to win this. But it's going to be one of those. It's so she can establish that title because now you have Bailey involved. You'll have, Lyra. She's going to get that belt to have the prestige like she did the NXT belt, and it paid off. I like to remind people. Lyra was a good champion when she won it off Becky. It was a great showing. I think that I kind of like what Ladarius keeps talking about is how it's going to come back around. She'll get that moment. Um, but yeah, I look forward to this match. I think this match is going to, if the Fatal Four Way is not the match of the night, this will be. But what do you think?
Yeah, and listen, people may not like it. You think, oh well, you're a Becky Lynch guy, you're, but here I'm going to just echo what I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Any match that Becky Lynch is in is it's going to be big because see, here's the thing: we were supposed to get this heel turn a couple years ago, but Nia Jax,
Yeah.
we all saw what happened, but yet
I
the
mean,
crowd cheered.
it made her who she was, though.
Yeah, and that's the point. It was turned out, oh, she's supposed to be the hit, but in a way, she won because the crowd went over the moon for it. And it's like Becky can't win with nobody. Listen, Becky's gonna win, and I can't wait to go on Twitter. I can't wait because my tweet is gonna be somewhere along the lines of this. Becky Lynch is showing once again is making a championship belt relevant. And some of you folks can't admit that because you're too seeped in making it personal.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a wrestling fan, understand Becky has made literally even she's made every title she's held relevant. And what makes
Amen.
this
Amen.
IC belt relevant is it's a new belt.
Yep.
And Lyra had her run. Let's not knock Lyra.
No.
But Becky Lynch, well, listen. Listen, what if I told you, like the ESPN 30, what if I told you
What if you told us what?
Everybody,
because here's the thing. What if we think about this for SummerSlam? We could potentially get, and John kind of took well, think about this: Becky versus Bayley, or potentially Becky versus Lyra Part 2, or it could be that's going to sell.
Yeah.
So people listen, Lyra. By the time this summer is concluded, Lyra Valkyria is going to be over the moon, and it's all thanks.
If the story hits hard enough, you could feasibly put it in a main event spot. Why?
Yes.
This year is 2 nights SummerSlam.
It's 2 nights. I tell people, listen, it's 2 nights. The best thing that
Triple
ever happened to the
Triple H just said it. If the story's warranted, he'll put it in.
You got 2 nights.
Yeah.
And he's shown that he'll put the best story. It may not be the best match, but he puts the best story, which also could happen to be the best match 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
That could end up being, and I think that's what this could be a SummerSlam night 1, maybe potentially main event.
Yeah.
If you have Becky versus Lyra. So Becky's gonna win. People, I'm gonna go on Twitter because I'm gonna be waiting like that shark that hovers the suburbs around that boat. I'm just gonna be waiting in that water, and when you throw that chum in the water for all that hate people are gonna give, I'm gonna come after you and tell you.
I just can't. Hold on. You're gonna be that way. I'm gonna be the other way when Gunther kills Pat, and there's a picture of Michael Cole, crying over Pat's dead body. It's covered in Pat's blood.
And folks, you're not gonna like it. But listen, neither Becky nor myself really care what you like.
Look at that.
It's what you want.
Okay,
no, Betty, no. It's what you need. Either way, John, Becky is going to be at the main event of SummerSlam, and that's the mission accomplished with the Intercontinental, and that's the goal. Because when the women's
look at the pop that she's getting. Look at how the crowd's responding to Lyra and Becky. They are responding. And if the crowd is hype about this, I could see this actually challenging to be a match where we got to put this as the main event. It could be brought up. Yeah.
It's a conversation.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. And listen, folks ain't got to, but listen, neither Becky Lynch, Rebecca Quinn, nor myself care whether y'all like it or not. Because anything she touches, she impacts this division, and she's going to do it this summer. And y'all just going to listen, buckle up, enjoy, watch or don't watch. I don't care what you do. But just stay for the ride, friends. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, let's talk about this. Cena, Orton. That will probably be the main event.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about Orton, main event at his place. Mm-hmm. So, look, I think Cena's going to win. I've said it many times. Do the slap. Do something. Look, sometimes play into the fact that you can't wrestle. Like you get in the ring and go, I forgot how to wrestle. How do I do this? So, but yeah, I think that would be, like I said, going back to like that well. But I hope they have a good match. I'm not expecting a lot because I'm hoping to be surprised. I'm hoping that the match will draw me in. But honestly, I see this as a Cena win somehow, and then we move on. But what do you think?
I think it's apropos, and And like Craig agrees with you about the DQ because that was a great finish. That was a great finish.
Yeah.
And listen, Randall Keith Orton is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's in his city. It's it gives off not the full vibes, but when Sami Zayn competed for the championship in Montreal,
Yeah.
I believe it was elimination. I forget it was elimination chamber with the pay per view.
Yeah, it was Elimination Chamber,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, you were right.
And but the difference between that match and this match is that some people felt that Sami Zayn should have beat Roman.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people did.
Because for a multitude of, I don't think, and it's not disrespecting Randy Orton, but like John Cena is on a different level, and this is his first so.
I mean,
Cena's
look. If anything, you're wanting to make sure you get these guys in the ring at least one more time.
Right, and to me that's the goal. And to me, people are like, as much as like it'd be great to see Randy win number 15, we're not getting that tonight. We're not getting that in St. Louis.
He will though. He will win it.
He will.
But it'll be some other way.
Yeah. So, give me John Cena. Like I said, I'm not. My expectation for the match is that nostalgia. I just want to see these two. Well, more than likely the final time in their careers.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they cross paths again. And just give me John Cena, and like I say, we're along for the ride, and we're just gonna see where this bad boy goes. But it's gonna be a great match because they're two great. Listen, I don't need to sell you on the fact that they're two of the best to ever do it. I don't need to sell people on that. So I'm expecting it to be a good match given what we have at their point in their career.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this. When you have a 5-match card, it actually is perfect. I still wish we could do one more match, but we'll figure that out when it gets. We'll watch SmackDown, and if it happens, we'll figure something out. But like I said, those are what we think. SmackDown is, I believe, on Saturday. I just had to restart my phone; it was acting up. So, but yeah, start the C double fund where I get a new phone. No, I did not say that to you. But no. Yeah. So I love that we can still do that. Let's see. Backlash. All right, so it's May 10th, and it starts at. Come on now, give me a time.
7?
I think 7, yeah. Because of the UFC stuff. Yeah, 7. So, all right. So you've been aware of everything. Let's give our shout outs and everything, and thanks to everybody in the comments. Y'all have been great. I see Cena winning, but we better not we better not see Travis Scott. Sorry. And that's from John Brooks. Yes, I agree. Please no Travis Scott. I will take a slap finish than I would Travis Scott.
Thank you, Craig. Craig, listen. Craig's on top of it.
Yes, he is. Look at that.
Folks,
Spokesman personification.
How did I make it? How did I make it through this show? Because when you need the stamina to go all show long, I added that part in.
Oh, look at you!
Hey,
if you don't,
if you don't have a clue, grab some Blue Chew.
I'm telling you, I see this. All right, Blue Chew, give us a call. We can make this work. All right, we gave you all a little shout out. Now, let's work this out. All right, so let's.
Why are you in Iowa? Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Look, it was a beautiful place. You saw how he looked good in there and everything. He had the suit. I thought you were in Ireland. I didn't think Iowa.
I can't say that joke. I'm gonna say that joke for off the air. I had a joke. It's a Field of Dreams joke, but I can't say it on here.
Oh yes.
I can't say it on.
All right. So go ahead and tell people where to find you, and also give you shout outs.
I'm gonna write it down because it's so good.
Oh yes.
I just thought about it. I'm like, nah, even that's too bad for me. You can find me on Twitter and TikTok at Ladarius_Brown. Instagram, there's _Brown, writer editor for Beyond Women's Sports. Check us out over there with the WBA, the preseason and the season coming up soon. And Jesus, I'm trying to get through my stuff here, John. Come on, DM it here. Oh yes, oh I'm gonna DM it. Oh yes, yes.
Oh yes, he will, because I can't wait to hear it.
And so check out all the work that we're doing over there. Thank you to all here in the chat, from John to Craig, Christy, April, Ron for showing up, Devin for showing up. Let's see who else. Dre, Dre dropping in.
Yeah, we had
the mural. Yeah, we're not gonna count that guy.
Yeah.
But
no problem.
but to all of you who showed up, as much for taking time out of your day to listen to us talk about wrestling, and we do it for you. And you're listen. We value you guys, and I value that guy over here, as well as here doing this podcast. I thank him for allowing me to be on here with him every Wednesday. That'll change during the summer. I'll start taking vacation. But
yeah, we'll do our vacations. I know we got to eventually talk about those eventually. So it's like, yes, I'm live at a resort. All right. So yeah, C28 YouTube channel. Also check out. Got the Ron. Oh yeah, no, we definitely shouted out Ron in April. So yeah, Ron and April for being in the chat. Big shout out to Ron. Trust me, you can't never forget Ron.
Oh yeah,
Ron,
I did say that. I did say that, didn't I? I did say that.
Because I did hear you say April and Ron.
Yeah, I did say April and Ron.
You said April and Ron, and no one heard Ron first.
Yeah.
But yeah, C28 on the YouTube, and then CAAWTN on X. Man, just hit us up if you're watching these videos after we've been live. Man, leave a comment, hit the like, subscribe. Tell us what you think. Who are your predictions for Backlash? And what did you think about the Seth Rollins and Jey Uso match? And we'll definitely talk about it. So we are, and then also if you want to hit your views about the releases, just remember, if they are in your town, they start working indie shows, go check them out, get their merch, just show love when you can. And they will appreciate that. And you know what? Sometimes the best thing for them is creativity. Let them let them do what they need to.
Show love and what it's all about.
Look at that! I got backup singer too. I tell you, this man to do
show
it all.
Show some love also with some blue chew. No,
How do you spell love? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for my main man over here, Mr. Ladarius freaking Brown. I am C-Dub. And we out. See ya.